Wow, this episode just made me love the character of Nanaho so much more. She's a fantastic antagonist, and poor Swirly. The image of him with Luke and Yuga looked kinda cruel. Hello everyone and welcome to Dueling with Downton, and today we're here to talk about episode 75 of the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's anime series. An episode in where the duel I thought was underwhelming, but the story progression and characters' interactions were showcased excellently. So throughout this episode, I thought it did a great job in making me question and also somewhat dislike Romin's character, especially the way they changed her up within the presentation of the early stages. She was acting very out of character, and we saw the fake Romin manipulating the likes of Roa, Mimi and Gakuto into secretly going along to Yuga's house behind his back. This was in order to confirm whether or not he is really the 6th Goha sibling. Telling our group, look, we don't know a lot about Yuga, and as our friend, why shouldn't we be curious about learning who Yuga actually is? I did love the fact though that within this opening sequence we did get a reference to the Paradox Brothers. I thought that was great. The silhouettes of them obviously is them. And plus the fake Romin acted very sassy towards Asana in their exchange of words when it got quite heated. That I all thought was great. Now this does lead me to another point about the episode. The whole idea of the group going to Yuga's house without his permission or his knowledge kind of rubbed me the wrong way. If I was Yuga, I definitely wouldn't like it if my friends were snooping behind my back just to find information about me. I'd prefer they come and ask me directly. Now we get a line from the fake Romin in where she replies to Asana, so we'll be able to investigate in secret. So that's even better. Now then people can just argue and say, oh, well that wasn't Romin saying that, it was actually Nanaho in disguise. Yes, that is correct. However, the morally wrong thing here is actually neither Gakuto, Mimi or Roa questioned this statement or felt bad or guilty about the line/idea that was being presented. Then, by the end of the duel, Roa goes off to Asana about how she's just like them, in her being curious and doubting Yuga, saying that Asana is no different than the group for wanting to know information. Then Roa continues to portray Asana as the person in the most wrong in this situation, which I found completely unjustified. There was a massive difference in Asana's approach in going to Yuga's lab directly and asking him about the situation, as to where the other group, our main heroes, were going to possibly break into Yuga's house if he wasn't there in order to investigate his home. Personally, I just think Roa was feeling a bit butthurt about the fact he got roasted by R6 with the comments. And he just wanted to big himself up a bit. We know how Roa has a big ego, so I wouldn't put it past him if that had a small part to play in it. So despite everything that was said and done, at the end of the day, Nanaho had the last laugh. And what a perfect laugh this character actually has. Plus, her ninja outfit did somewhat remind me of Goku Black from the Dragon Ball Super anime series. Nanaho was the one who called everyone out on how bad of a friend / how little they trust Yuga. She relished in the easiness of manipulating the group, as she had them hook, line and sinker with every word that she presented across to them. Now then, I love the way that Nanaho stalled Romin by using the stall vendors full of things that Romin loves. This shows another example of how resourceful Nanaho is, plus how detailed and good she is at information gathering. Nanaho and her group would have needed to gather intel on Romin's likes and interests in order to set up this trap that would stall her long enough for Nanaho to masquerade as Romin and trick our main heroes. This field research, as Nanaho calls it, manages to give her some important intel as well, as stated from the character herself. And we as the audience now have to watch each and every character very closely because they might not be who they're supposed to be. If Nanaho and the ninjas can copy Yuga and Romin this well, what's stopping them from in the future masquerading as another one of our heroes? Plus, the other thing we need to think about when it comes to Nanaho and the ninjas is if they have this massive skill of information gathering and they also have this excellent, almost perfect ability to copy other people's appearances, then what's stopping like a ninja or Nanaho from disguising themselves as, say, Yuo and tricking everyone in Goha, getting all of their secrets and important intel? I think just these small features alone just makes the ninjas so much more interesting and fascinating, as it keeps us as the audience on our toes while we're viewing it. So if we look at the expressions of Mimi, Roa and Gakuto after Nanaho mocks them, their expressions aren't that great, I'm not gonna lie. Roa looks confused. I mean, Roa can be confused in this situation because he's just been bamboozled. Gakuto admittedly looks the most guilty and sad out of the three of them, while Mimi gives off that disinterested, oh yeah, oops, this is a bad thing. Now logically, you would think that being a 37-year-old, Mimi would understand and know there are some boundaries that you don't cross, such as betraying your friends or allowing other kids to potentially break into someone else's home, regardless of whether or not you have a theory that you want to prove correct or incorrect. However, one injection of positivity along the lines of Mimi's character was when she stated, "I'm too old to be running around after kids." That was a funny line. Now then, another positive piece of dialogue from this episode was from Roa, and this is where he apologizes to Asana. Now this was surprising yet very smart, as it links to Roa's character development from the last few times that we've seen him. At the start of the series, Roa would not have apologized for anything, even if he knew he was in the wrong. But now he's had a chance to reflect and understand people a little bit more, and grow as a character in general. He understands that he is in the wrong here, and he needed to apologize. Awesome. I have already kind of mentioned this, but I love the reveal of Romin being Nanaho in disguise, as we see Beauty Romin appearing, kicking some sense into Roa, while also giving us some really cute facial expressions. But with that trap and Romin buying all of those things from those market stalls, I do have to say, poor R6 having to carry all of that luggage. Hopefully he's okay. Now then, I don't really have a lot to say when it comes to the character of Asana, except I really liked her daydreaming about Yuga at the start of the episode. That was cute, even though it was overshadowed by both her losing and Nanaho's brilliance. Asana stood up for Yuga. Despite her lingering doubts in her mind, she battled to protect Yuga's honor and integrity. And at the same time, you could also say that Asana was trying to help Roa, Mimi and Gakuto from making a big mistake in hurting Yuga. Asana losing this duel by no means negatively affects her character. She's still prideful and she's still awesome. Roa winning, on the other hand, was a much needed victory. However, I would have preferred Roa to have won with less speech than what he gave us in the final turn of the duel. Nevertheless though, it is what it is. The two new ace monsters introduced by both characters all seem pretty decent. We get Asana's fusion monster, Dream Build, the Infer Dream Mystic Sword Dragon. That's a mouthful, but it had a decent design. And the design did kind of remind me of Neo Galaxy Eye's Cypher Dragon. And as for Roa, he uses Royal Demon's Hard Rock. Now the summoning chant / animation for this looked absolutely amazing. In fact, all of Roa's high level Royal Demon monsters seem to have brilliant summoning animations. And the monster itself skill was rather decent, and honestly, I just think the design's pretty cool. So one thing I have to shout out about from this episode was the music. This sounded beautiful and was used in every single way possible to add effect to the episode. When Asana came onto the screen and was dreaming of Yuga, it was quite mellowetic and calm, quite beautiful. When Nanaho was at the end, it was quite dramatic and you knew something big was happening. Even in the duel, the music that was used helped elevated what was being presented to just give you a bit more of an enjoyment factor while things were being shown. This I highly appreciated. Now, surprisingly, we did get a flash of Yuo content within this episode, as he talks about there needing to be an emergency meeting once Yuga is found. This wasn't expanded upon, but I do wonder what this emergency is that Yuo needs to discuss with Yuga. Could it be the fact that Yuga is skipping out on work? Or have the ninjas stolen some important information and Yuo needs to talk to Yuga about it? Or could Yuo be a believer of the Yuga for sixth sibling theory? Either way though, I'm excited to see what happens. Overall, this episode was fantastic, especially that last segment with Nanaho as she stole the spotlight. And finally, her and her ninjas are moving the plot forward. Things are spicing up and looking to get exciting. Seeing Asana back in this episode was a breath of fresh air. Plus, was it me or did her hair grow slightly? Maybe we could ask Tiger next episode. That's right, I have seen the next episode summaries and things are heating up plot-wise as we're entering Nanaho's ninja village. And who awaits Luke and Yuga? None other than Tiger. Why is she here? Well, maybe there's a card or something controlling her. So the episode summaries for 76 state that there's a card that can control people. Now we've already seen this happen firsthand, as we have the stall vendors, plus we also have Swirly as an example. But how did Nanaho get such a card? Did she make it herself using the working parts of the machine that collapsed at the end of the Hunt versus Bakuro duel? You remember the one that Hunt and Luke found that can create cards? That machine. Anyways, let me know your thoughts and theories in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say about the episode. I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. More Yu-Gi-Oh! From myself in the future. But have a great day. Alligator, Martinet, goodbye.